Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Red Flags Only podcast, where we discuss things you thought you may have understood, but might have missed a few signs along the way. I am your host, Dion Royal, and today we have some really juicy internet smut making the rounds over the last couple of days, and that is the fact that Meg and Klay are officially broken up. Yes, you heard that right. Megan Thee Stallion, I hate that stupid ass name, and Klay Thompson of the NBA fame and Splash Brothers have officially broken up, as confirmed by your girl Meg in a social media post. Now the interwebs is really having a fucking blast with this. With the city boys talking cash shit and the Megan bots threatening violence. This has been a shit show that will probably cash a couple good checks over the next couple weeks. And y'all already know that the most banal and mundane topics have already been covered, and the lowest hanging fruit has been there for the culture to kind of gravitate to and pick over the carcass. I'm gonna take a different angle here though, and I'm gonna see if you guys can pick up what I'm putting down. Let's play a game using our imaginations here. Let's imagine that you and your spouse come from money, cash money. You made your fortune in the family business, and it has been very, very good to you. You have access, resources, influence, recognition, fame, money, and power. The image of your company is pristine. Your personal image is impeccable. Your business started out decent, but exploded exponentially once your two children take over. They shoot the business into an entirely different stratosphere. People admire the work that you do and respect the way that your family has handled business and represented yourselves and your values. Now, from the outside looking in, this is the idyllic life that dreams are made of. You, your beautiful spouse, you got two beautiful, talented kids, intelligent adult kids, a successful family business, a pristine reputation that's good for all things corporate and sponsorship. And now let's talk about the kids though. And in my imagination, I'll say two boys, similar to the real life situation, but you could choose what you like. Now, these two young men are handsome, they're intelligent, they're athletic, generous, and most of all, you've raised them to be some of the best human beings on the planet. The evidence is proven when other people speak about how wonderful they are and how they treat other people. They've also done some really extremely, they've really done extremely well taking over the family business also. It's like 100 times more recognizable now, and most people didn't even know you started the business and were one of the best in the world at it during your time, because the boys have done such an amazing job leveling up. These young men have grown up in a world of access to the finest things in life, the best educations, the most exclusive social circles, and they possess an elite pedigree. Like my man in Coming to America said, baby, he got his own money. And because of the reputation of the family, the sons were kind of shielded, I guess you could say, from a lot of the negative influences that we consider to be vital parts of our culture. Running the streets, fucking with a bunch of hoes, doing drugs and drinking, criminal activities, joining gangs, and other things that we generally see in our communities on a regular basis. Those things were strictly off limits for these two brothers. Now, outside of visiting grandma and relatives a few times, going to church, they grew up totally sheltered from that aspect of life, those aspects of black life. Now, that's not to say they wasn't aware or did not have a yearning to want to kind of jump down off the porch. It's just that they understood what was at stake, and they decided maintaining the current lifestyle that they have is way more important than anything that the streets had to offer at the time. But eventually they grew up and began to enter a phase of life that demanded they make sound choices, and for the most part they always did. But eventually, no matter how good your intentions are, nobody's perfect, and in order to be a good judge of character, you actually got to deal with some characters. Your kids grow up, they make adult decisions that can affect the entire family, and no matter, like I said, your kids grow up, they can make adult decisions that can affect the entire family, and the entire family will have to live with the outcomes, whether they positive or negative. Now, here's where we enter the favorite son's new girlfriend. This young man from this wealthy and extremely marketable family decides to hitch his wagon to a beautiful young lady that could not be more his polar opposite in terms of class and social status, and whose reputation and occupation may cause some harm to the family business as well as the pristine, highly marketable family reputation. Let me explain. See, it ain't about his girlfriend being from the other side of the tracks. It couldn't be further from it. It ain't about her not being from money or moving in elite circles. She's successful. She has status. She's educated. She has money and notoriety. But despite having all those things that makes her a catch in the eyes and the opinions of others, we all fail to realize this one thing. The social elite move different than the average citizen. They ain't just allowing anybody into the family wealth. Even though I don't like them at all, the queen of England motherfuckers, they was willing to kick a nigga out the royal family, out the fucking palace, because you brought home an undesirable. Somebody we didn't believe was worthy of being integrated into our money, our power, our wealth. Now, I would be remiss to leave out the fact that she was black, but that is actually the point here. He can't date her seriously, knowing the two extremely different worlds they come from. They may truly like one another, but eventually this shit catches up to you. Yes, she is rich, famous, and visible. But the richest niggas is always somebody you ain't never seen or heard of before. You'll be looking at the news and be like, the sixth richest man in America, Victor Pluki, runs a metal fabrication company and just so happens to be African American. You ain't never seen this nigga nowhere. He ain't on TV. He ain't in the, that's the first time you seen him, the first time you heard of it, and it might be the last time, because real money move different. Now you'll see this nigga and he'll look like average nigga from the suburbs, but you do not realize that he is always the only nigga in spaces that don't require no niggas at all. Now, she's also, I'm talking about the girlfriend here. She's also been at the, well, we call her the ex-girlfriend, but she's also been at the center of controversy and questionable decisions for her entire professional career, to be honest. And that's not just concerning. That represents some flaming red flags that can't be ignored when you're dealing with the generational wealth of a bloodline. Now, after mom and pops built the business and the sons expanded the business, the family is seeing real, true generational wealth. And as men, we all know the easiest way to lose your bread is some combination of pussy and hardship. And as men, we advise our sons, brothers, nephews, and younger selves to choose wisely. In most cases, niggas get a little experience, shit don't work out, and everybody moves on, mostly amicably for the most part. In a few cases, mistakes were made that lead to 18 years of payments and a lifetime worth of headaches. Now imagine all of this work that you've done to put your family in this position, not just for now, but for the next 5 generations, and your son makes a decision that could set shit back like a big dog based on his choice of a mate. Now, not saying that she's a bad person or has even done bad things, just saying that shit gotta line up a little better in order for things to work. Relationships ain't easy. That's why so many of y'all ain't in one now. Now, moving back to my imaginary family and my son's choices. He grew up in elite social circles, has accesses to resources and power, has a highly, highly recognizable, marketable corporate brand built off the family name and a quality product. He has strong family bonds and connections. The business success is intricately tied to family name and success. And then we take a look at his choice in women and what she's accomplished. She's an artist multi-selling artist, whatever you want, million streaming, concert. She's very, very marketable. She's very marketable to a certain type. She's an artist though that creates multi-million selling streaming artist that creates vulgar art that influences grown women, who in turn influence young girls to behave in less than becoming ways. She got shot by her last boyfriend, allegedly. Who still claims to this day that he was being set up and has had multiple attempts on his life while in prison that rumors attribute to her and her management company, allegedly. She bends over and busts it open at every public appearance, whether appropriate or not. To the point where folks are disappointed, really, that she didn't shake her ass when you see her. She's also trapped in a bad record deal, and her public persona represents the exact opposite of the family business. But she can cook. She has a degree, is beautiful, very attractive, has a magnetic personality, and is extremely successful in her field. To many of you, you'll say to yourselves, what's wrong with them being a couple? They seem compatible and they look good together. And that is the main fucking issue. My mom always told me growing up that everything look good ain't good. Just because we like them together don't mean that they good for one another. Now, I got two schools of thought here. The first is that there's a reason that you don't see powerful, wealthy families marry outside of a certain circle. They don't necessarily believe in love as much as they believe in their accountants and lawyers. They didn't achieve the wealth and status that they did by making risky decisions and not having a plan. For the longest time, it was the rule of the elite families to choose the mates or groom the mates of younger generations of those families. They realized quite early that this ain't as much about who you like as much as it's about how you can advance the family's name and position within high society. Wealth attracts power, and no family that has power wants to cede that control based on preventable decisions. This is the reason that wealth has been calcified in the hands of a small few select families over the last 150 years. There's a reason that you don't see the Cinderella story in real life. Now, the second school of thought here is, I guess it's something basic, but I mean, I think it's a question that really all men, it comes across they man, all men that actually have their mom. We all ask ourselves this question. You know, our moms, grandmamas, sisters, women that we care about. What does his mama think about her? I mean, for all the young ladies' success and fame, what cost would it come at to have her be recognized as a member of this wealthy elite family? See, we're not talking about people that just got money. We talking about second generation wealth with a plan for the next 7 following. Between the bad decisions, the bad public relations, the bad record deal, and the issue with the last boyfriend that's in jail, these are all valid issues that can also be swept under the rug or explained away on some bullshit. Now, at the end of the day, though, what do my moms and my grandmama think of her? Are they okay with every time they see her publicly, she's busting it wide open? Are they okay with the image of the character that she portrays becoming the de facto representative female face of the family? I need y'all to hear that shit, because I'm going to ask it again. Are they okay with the image of the character that she portrays becoming the de facto representative female face of the family? Are they okay with a certain aspect of her occupation, knowing that a certain aspect of her occupation can be life-threatening because of the entities involved? Do they want this for their son, grandson, brother, nephew? Are these fair questions, or am I being too harsh? Now ask yourself, what would you do if you had a family situation like this? It ain't easy to raise your kids right, watch them grow into adults, and see them completely detour from the path that you showed them. It's tough to watch your kids make decisions that you know can ruin their lives when you know they should know better because you taught them. And as a regular ass citizen, guess what? You gotta let them live and go through what they have to in order to learn and grow. It's right and fair no matter how bad it make you feel. You want to get involved, but you know for a fact this is the best way that this nigga gonna learn and grow. And you gotta let it happen. The wealthy elite don't roll like that. Niggas get written out the will, kicked out the palace, and placed into conservatorship and all kind of other insane mechanisms to make sure that the main thing stay the main thing. Again, the main thing staying the main thing. The wealth and power of this family remains intact and grows. We don't shrink. You gotta watch Man go out and destroy his life and take half the family down with him. The Goldsteinbergs let Todd ass know he's out the wheel and cut off immediately if he bring the wrong bitch home. Particularly if she has dark skin, nappy hair, and big lips. And if he got access to his own money, they'll paint him out to be crazy and put his ass under conservatorship, where a motherfucker from the family and a lawyer will hold him prisoner in their own life with the main goal being to make sure, like I said, the main thing stay the main thing, that the family's power, wealth, and status, the power, wealth, and status stays intact. That's it. That's all. And the easiest way to fuck all of that up is to give it away to a bitch that you liked at the time. Hear me again. The easiest way to give it away and to lose it all is to gamble on the bitch you thought you liked at the time. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I knew Klay and Meg weren't working out from the beginning. I thought they was good for changing each other's image. Klay got a little blacker, and Meg got some of that hood rat dust knocked off her. I call it a win-win. Anybody invested in this shit beyond this really got some personal issues. They get triggered every time something like this happens, so we kind of ignore y'all. But the first I want to address the guys. Nigga, pipe down. You date a Meg Thee Stallion if a bitch like that would have you. Stop finding joy in that lady mistakes and turmoil in her life. We all make decisions we got to live with. She definitely done had her public share. Go find you a nice girl to treat well and give a good life so you could be a better example of how shit supposed to be. We might listen to you then. And for my sisters, please understand that hood rat pussy is not the answer for every problem in life. It can solve a couple of problems, but we all need to understand that no matter how we want to see it as people, we all got to deal with the choices we make, good or bad. Let us not be so delusional to believe that you can waste half your adult life creating an image and persona for yourself that gets you to where you think you want to be. But when you get there, you find out that wasn't the way to go. But rather than being accountable, you act like it's everybody else's fault, and that we don't understand that we make the decisions that affect our lives. So as I wrap it up, I want you to ask yourself how you feel or react. You work hard to change the trajectory of your bloodline. You set up the next generation to really get to it. You've amassed tangibles at your level. You done bought property. You have a decent investment portfolio, insurance policies, trusts, wills, and you got a little money set aside for a rainy day in retirement. Are you going to allow your son's poor decision making to hinder your family's ability to amass wealth in the future? Believe it or not, many of you already have allowed your sons to set the family back generationally. You got loose grandbabies out here you rarely see. 33% of his income is already spoken for the next 18 to 21 years or more. Family wealth is going to places that don't strengthen or build the family's wealth, power, status, or brand. You work hard to get the family where it is. You gonna you know what you gonna do. You work real hard to get this family where it is. You gonna write that nigga out the will, and you gonna have him acting a fool at the next 16 family reunions, 2 weddings, and a funeral. And take this as a lesson to choose wisely, because who you choose today will directly affect the quality of your life as well as your family. Find somebody that fuck with you for real, and don't be mad when your own words and behavior are used against you. That's my 2 cents. Peace.